mother figures in my life, but only one of them has taught me how a mother loves.
The greatest reward for me is he makes me better every day.
I would tell a family considering adopting a teenager that teenager, whoever it is, needs you, and they need what you have to offer.
Taylor's given me hope. He's our son, and that is what he will always be.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to learn more. A message brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
Listen to the home of the 5K Gruber Cash Giveaway. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
It's time! It's time! It's beta time!
You are watching a master at work.
Truth Nation, get ready for the greatest 60 minutes in radio, giving you his authentic and bold opinions, bringing you all the information, entertainment, and conversations you gotta hear. From local issues to trending topics and headline news, it is time for Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, 1017thetruth.com, and streaming live on YouTube. Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is your award-winning host, Kyle Wallace.
Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, and we're coming live. Yes, we're coming live to you from Vincent High School, B House, right here on Truth to Power, as we are live at the UW-Madison Volleyball Camp in the city of Milwaukee. I'll talk more about that coming up here in a couple minutes. But again, I am Kyle Wallace. I am the host of Truth to Power right here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. You can call in and text in by calling or texting in at 833-212-1017. That is 833-212-1017. And remember, you can always watch and stream us live by going to YouTube, going to 1017 The Truth on YouTube. That is 1017 The Truth on YouTube. Give us a like and also give us a subscribe as well, so you never miss any of your favorite 1017 The Truth shows. I am Kyle Wallace, the host of Truth to Power. And boy, oh boy, what a morning it was. Shout out to Rhea Riley, coming live to you on the ones and the twos.
What it do?
And shout out to you as well, Truth Nation. And what a morning it has been for me. Your boy was in New York City this morning. You may not know, but I was in New York. I was in New York City this morning. Now, I'm going to tell y'all about my New York City adventures. Not today. I'm going to tell you about my New York City adventures tomorrow because there's so much news to get to. But before we get kicked into the weekend recap, I do want to mention the fact that I did say I'm live from Vincent High School right here in Milwaukee. And this means everything to me because I didn't grow up too far away from Vincent High School. And right now, what we're hosting, Good Karma Brands, 1017 The Truth, ESPN Wisconsin, in partnership with UW-Madison, are hosting a volleyball camp right here at Vincent High School that is geared towards students in Milwaukee public schools. So I'm so excited for the fact that we had an opportunity to host a girls volleyball camp with some of the most elite volleyball athletes in the world. One of the best universities for volleyball in the country, UW-Madison, a national powerhouse in volleyball, is hosting a volleyball camp right here at Vincent High School, right here for MPS students and kids from the city of Milwaukee. So it's just very, very exciting to be here today and very, very excited to see all these young aspiring volleyball campers join in on all the fun and get as much training from some of the most elite athletes that we have to offer here in the state of Wisconsin for volleyball. But with that being said, it was a long weekend. I was gone on Friday. Shout out to Bailey Coleman for holding it down. But now it's time for the weekend recap right here on 1017 The Truth.
Truth Nation, we know you have a busy life and the weekend went by too fast. If you missed any of the headline stories, no worries. We got you covered on the top stories you may have missed. Tap in for the weekend recap on Truth to Power. Kyle, tell Truth Nation the biggest headlines they need to know.
So, Truth Nation, I wanted to try to keep it light today. I wanted to. I'm telling you, I wanted to try to keep it light. I said, I'm around the kids, I'm around the babies. I want to try to keep it as light as possible. So I'm going to mix in and mix out some of the light stuff with some of the heavy stuff as well here. And I'm going to start with something that happened. This is where I was gone. I think this happened Thursday night, something like that. But the CEO photo scene across the world, boy, wasn't that hilarious. And I'm just going to talk a little quick second. Now, I'm not a relationship coach, nor should I be one. But cheating is bad, and that's easy and simple. And cheating is also a choice. So is marriage. Marriage is optional. It's not something you have to do. No one has forced you to get married. But what we saw with that CEO from Astronomer, that AI tech company, with his with his side piece, it is what it is, y'all. Everybody got all this hubbub. Listen, I understand why it was bad for him to do that, but let this be a lesson for everybody to have an open conversation with your partner. Because at the end of the day, this should be a reminder to everyone that no one is safe as well. No one is safe. No one is safe whatsoever. Not one man, not one woman. No one is safe from getting cheated on. I always tell myself that all the time. A man risks his CEO job with the HR lady, the head of the HR side piece. And this HR lady was also married, and they both risked it all, and they got caught on camera. They both risking the bag. And so I just think the story is kind of overblown. It's crazy. It's wild. People get cheated on every day, B. I mean, that's just the moral of the story is that folks get cheated on every day. So next time you look your partner in the eye, you think your partner is good, hopefully they are good. But if they get cheated on, don't sit there and be surprised. People can't be trusted. So that's my first thing I wanted to get and add my 2 cents on that. The next thing I wanted to jump in on is the officer the suspect who was allegedly the killer of the officer Corridor here in Milwaukee. He pled not guilty. Jermaine Jones, 22, was in court earlier late last week for a preliminary hearing, and he is charged with first-degree intentional homicide and attempted first-degree intentional homicide and first-degree recklessly endangering safety from a June 26 shooting that occurred. Now, we learn more about the story, and let me tell you, these folks should be very ashamed of themselves who are all part of this. And when I read this, I couldn't believe my eyes because I realized that this is a too common theme of arguing and going back and forth. And do y'all realize that this whole ordeal, the officer got shot because they were coming to a case that had to deal with drama between couples. It started over women arguing over this dude Jones and him cheating, and they were arguing for multiple days, and he brought a rifle and shot a rifle in the air, and then somebody from the house shot a gun back, they said. And it's just a big, sad story. And I know you get your day in court, but when it comes to this individual, Jermaine Jones, he sounds very guilty to me. He sounds guilty of charge. In all, 16 rifle casings were recovered, along with an AR-15 style rifle that the police say belonged to Jones. Detectives also discovered a book bag with numerous items at the scene that bore Jones's name, Jermaine Jones. So they found all this evidence on site. They found his social security card. They found his debit card. They found his birth certificate. They also found his fingerprints on the weapon. So, again, Jermaine Jones can plead not guilty all he wants, but that man is guilty as charged. And, again, here's another thing that should be a story that we should all keep in mind when we have our emotions take over. Emotions led to a tragedy once again in our city, and what it caused is it caused for the loss of life, and it all was avoidable. We now have a 22-year-old man in Jermaine Jones who I hope learns from his mistakes and can go on to tell a story about his poor decisions, which caused for a police officer to lose their life and caused for him to lose his freedom. And all of this suffering and all this fallout over a poor, bad decision that was made by Jermaine Jones, allegedly. And Jermaine's going to spend the rest of his life in jail if he is found guilty of this. And I hope he can tell people this story. The story about how he allowed for his emotions to get the best of him. He allowed for beef with somebody and all this to get the best of him. And it led to the death of an officer, and it led to for him to spend the rest of his life behind bars. So again, I hope that from this tragedy, there is going to be a lesson that can be told, and he can go and tell that lesson to people about the time that he lost his cool and he let his emotions get the best of him. He wasn't thinking straight, and he shot officers multiple times. Because that is the only good that can come from this, is that he can reach somebody else and get somebody not to make the same terrible decision that he made. And then the last story that I have, or second to last story that I have, is we always talk about drama inside the city of Milwaukee, but do know drama happens outside of Milwaukee as well. And there was an Oak Creek brawl that I just had to bring to the radio. See, Milwaukee gets a bad rap for all the crime that we have, and we do. It's justifiable because we have a lot of nonsense going on in our city. But we as a city, I agree, I think we have to be better. And sometimes we also do need to remind ourselves, that foolishness is a human nature, and it isn't limited just to Milwaukee. So I present to you this nonsense that happened in Oak Creek. I don't know if y'all saw this story or not, but in Oak Creek, Wisconsin, there was a brawl where all heck broke loose. I'm around kids, so we ain't going to be using no bad words today, but all heck broke loose out in Oak Creek. At an Oak Creek bar, there wasn't not one, not two, not 5, not 10, not 20, not 30, not 40, not 50, but 60 people. 60 people got into a brawl that sprawled in between the establishment and on the outside of the establishment all over, as 60 folks got to fighting outside of an Oak Creek bar. That's crazy. That's nonsense. They talk about the nonsense that happened in my city, but this is nonsense that happened in Oak Creek, Wisconsin, where you had a brawl of 60-plus people taking place. The fight was so bad out in Oak Creek that the Oak Creek police officers had to call the Franklin police officers in the Franklin Police Department to come out here and to assist. So again, I'm happy to remind you that Milwaukee, yes, we do have our issues. We do. But so does other villages, towns, municipalities, and cities. We ain't the only one that have our problems. A dang 60-person brawl taking place out in Oak Creek. 833-212-1017. That is your weekend recap here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth on Truth to Power. And again, I'm coming to you live. Yes, I'm coming to you live from Vincent High School for the UW-Madison, the Wisconsin Badgers women's volleyball camp, hosted for kids right here in the city of Milwaukee, kids right here who attend MPS. They are coming to you. They brought a camp right here to the community, so I can't be more happy about the fact that so many young ladies here in Milwaukee have an opportunity to attend a volleyball camp with elite athletes here right at Vincent High School. But when we come back, there was a story that broke, I want to say Thursday, I think I mentioned it, that I don't feel like it's getting enough news or getting enough attention and still in the headlines the way that it should. There's so much that we can talk about in the news, from the CEO that was hugging on somebody at Coldplay, from the Epstein files to some Obama stuff. There's a lot of different things that are in the news, but something that I feel like has been lost is the fact that Breonna Taylor's family is being forced to relive the tragedy that occurred back on March 13th, 2020, and are being reminded that black lives do not matter and that we are living in a time for sure where black lives do not matter. The saga and sad story of Breonna Taylor, I'm going to give you an update on what has recently occurred and how the family looks like they will not get justice. You're listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace. When we come back, I'm going to give you an update on the sad story of Breonna Taylor and why the current administration is trying to make the family continue to live through anguish and agony with their recent Justice Department decision. This is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace right here on 101.7 The Truth.
More of Truth to Power is next on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Start jamming in the morning and get your daily drop of juice.
Juice gets you hydrated and started for your day. And that's what we plan to do from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Every single morning, we're going to be keeping you in the mix, talking about everything you care about all before 9 a.m.
So wipe that crust out your eyes and get ready for jamming with Juice.
Turning your mornings into your favorite part of the day.
Get that stank breath out of here. Brush your
It's
teeth.
it, bro. You like, what? Catch Jammin' with Juice
From 7 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Good morning, Milwaukee.
Escape the city and relax at Lake Lawn Resort in beautiful Delavan, Wisconsin. Enjoy outdoor activities on Delavan Lake. Tee off at the lakeside Majestic Oaks Golf Course or unwind at the award-winning Calidora Spa. With both indoor and outdoor pools, there's fun for the whole family. Take a cruise on the Lake Lawn Queen. Explore stunning shores and historic landmarks and enjoy delicious food and drinks on board. Book your stay today at lakelawnresort.com, where everything is better at the lake.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Are you or anyone you know looking for a new job opportunity? Attend the City of Milwaukee Job Fair on Thursday, July 24th from noon to 3 p.m. at 2 locations. Visit us at Sherman Park in the Mary Ryan Boys and Girls Club Baseball Diamond, located at 3000 North Sherman Boulevard, and at the Washington Park Band Shell, located at 4599 West Lloyd Street. Vendors from multiple employment sectors will be present to meet with you and share opportunities for hiring, training, upskilling, and more. We will also feature a live DJ, food and refreshments while supplies last, and the chance to make your next career move. Your success matters, and we are here for it. Brought to you by council members DeAndre Jackson and Russell Stamper II. Sponsored by City of Milwaukee, Milwaukee Common Council, City of Milwaukee Department of Administration, Office of Community Wellness and Safety, Northcott Neighborhood House, Fathers Making Progress, Northwest Side Community Development Corporation, State of Wisconsin DWD, Ross Innovative Employment Solutions, Goodwill Industries of Southeast Wisconsin, UMOS, DCMKE, 30th Street Corridor, Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Milwaukee, Milwaukee County Parks, Greater Milwaukee Urban League, Maximus, and Amplifier.
This is Truth to Power on 101.7 The Truth app, and streaming live on 101.7 The Truth on YouTube.
The Truth. I am your host of Truth to Power, Kyle Wallace, and I'm coming to you live. You can hear the smack of the ball. That would be the volleyballs, as I'm coming to you live from the Wisconsin Girls Volleyball Camp here at Vincent High School. And again, it just fills me up with so much joy to see all these young aspiring volleyball young ladies able to participate in a completely free volleyball camp for kids who live in the city of Milwaukee who attend MPS as well a free camp. They had a middle school girls session in the morning. Now they have the high school girls session. So it is just, again, it is great to see all these young ladies who love the sport of volleyball to be able to get coaching from some of the best athletes in the country when it comes to volleyball. So this is just a great thing, and I'm so glad that this company, GKB, ESPN Wisconsin, 101.7 The Truth, and UW-Madison got to come together to do this right here at Vincent. When they asked me where should we do it at, I said V-House. Got to do it at V-House. So I'm excited that we had the opportunity to do this. Now, getting back into the topic of the day, the conversation of the day, is Breonna Taylor. Now, the story of Breonna Taylor, we all know. We see the murals that she has here. In this past weekend, I was able to go to an exhibit, and I went to an art exhibit when I was in New York City, and the artist did a painting of Breonna Taylor. Now, she did this painting of Breonna Taylor because when Breonna Taylor was murdered by the Louisville Police Department, and I will use the word murdered because that's exactly what she was. She was murdered by the Louisville Police Department. When she was murdered, she had future plans of her life, right? Her boyfriend had future plans for us, for her, for them. And what the artist decided to do, because what she found out when she talked to the Taylor family, they talked to her mother, she found out that the boyfriend was looking to propose to Breonna Taylor, but never got a chance to do it. And as someone who is deeply in love, I could not imagine not being able to have that opportunity to propose. To have somebody be here, and then they're not here, they're taken from you. So the traumatic stress that he had to go through, in his mind, the future plans that he was making, the plan he was making when he bought the ring, the plan he was making how he was going to propose, all to be taken like that. And so what this artist did was, can't bring Breonna Taylor back, but what she did was she made a painting of Breonna Taylor and had this painting as if she was on a magazine and put a ring on her finger. And it was something special that she was able to present to Breonna's family. Now, the reason why I'm talking about Breonna Taylor is because of the fact that there was news that just broke from the Department of Justice Thursday afternoon that the Department of Justice and the current administration wants to make an officer who was charged in this case by the Biden administration only serve 1 day. 1 day in jail. And I want to say this. I want to say, look what you've done to all the Trump supporters, specifically the black ones. The black ones who told you the Democrats don't do anything for black folks. The ones who said that the Biden administration doesn't care about the criminal justice system and trying to find some type of way to revamp and make the criminal justice system better. The black folks who allowed their disdain for the Democrats of not doing enough, and trust me, I agree they do not do enough, but they allow for them not doing enough to allow for them to choose someone who ain't doing a dang thing for you. Because of your hate for the Democrats, another black mother and family have to suffer and feel that justice is again not served. Now, with this one-day recommendation from the Trump administration for a police officer who shot 5 shots through Breonna Taylor's windows recklessly, it's crazy. It's crazy that somebody could be so reckless and only have to serve 1 day. Just 24 hours for shooting through a window you could not even see in. A window that had blinds, that had blackout curtains. Brett Hankinson, who is the officer that now is only being recommended for 1 day behind bars by this current administration's Department of Justice, couldn't even see his target. He was shooting with reckless abandon into a household that he could not see in, that he did not know who he was shooting at or what he was shooting at. There could have been a child in that home. There could have been a pet in that home. He did not know, nor did he care. And now to see the Trump administration is only wanting to give 1 day for that type of reckless behavior for an officer who is supposed to be trained on how to respond to gunfire. It's shameful. But what it is, Truth Nation, what we have to understand is that with this 1 day sentence, this 24 hours, this is a message that's being sent loud and clear to all rogue, reckless and dangerous police officers by this administration, and it is that we have your back. I am one that, listen, I support police. I believe police do a great job in our community. Matter of fact, the first thing I'm doing if something happened in my neighborhood, I'm calling 911. But it does not mean I cannot be critical on those that make mistakes on their job. And yes, this was a mistake that was made. And when you make mistakes sometimes have results that are in bad, and then they have consequences. And this current Department of Justice, unfortunately, is trying to undo the work of the Biden administration when it comes to civil rights. See, the Taylor family will never get the true justice that they deserve. Ever. There's nothing that they can get as injustice in this case because of Daniel Cameron. That's a whole nother story we can talk about, who was the attorney general, black attorney general down in Kentucky, Republican, who decided not to bring charges on any of these officers. But there's no true justice they can get. But the Biden DOJ, Department of Justice, did all they could to at least try to find somebody to hold accountable. And they were able to hold one of these officers, these awful officers, accountable. They were able to find that Louisville police officer, Brett Hankinson, that he was guilty of violating Breonna Taylor's constitutional rights. It was an open and shut case. It was easy. They violated her rights. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. So again, you can say what you want about the Democratic Party, that they don't do enough, because yes, again, there is a lot that they do not do. But what they do is leaps and bounds ahead of what we get. And when I say we, I mean we as in black Americans, what we get from the Republican Party. See, we are living in a day and age where this administration does not value the civil rights of people of color, but instead there has been a shift to focus on the civil rights of white people. Let me just tell y'all this. Again, I don't make anything up. I don't. Everything I say is factual. And if you don't believe me, I simply want y'all to do this. Grab your cell phone. I know a lot of y'all love Apple, so grab your iPhones, grab your iPads. If you like me, you got an Android, so whether you got a Google Pixel or a Samsung phone, grab your phone, open up Google or Safari or whatever you can search, and just simply Google Texas Congressional Maps Gerrymandering. When you look that up, just again Google Texas Congressional Maps Gerrymandering. And when you look that up, you will find that the government found that there were 5 minority black districts in the state of Texas that they felt like violated the rights of white people. So since there were 5 majority, hear this out now. This is in Texas, the place that's full of people that ain't black. Since they found that there were 5 majority black districts for congressional districts of the United States in Texas that were majority black, they said it violated the civil rights of white people and that those districts need to be redrawn. So what we are seeing is that they're going to redraw those maps to have more white people in it and make it more Republican leaning. So what I'm trying to tell y'all is that we are living in an interesting time, a time in history that is crazy, where you are constantly hearing these first 6 months about the civil rights of whites, while we hear about the fact that we need to get rid of diversity, equity, and inclusion, right? We don't care about uplifting one group while we're sitting here worried about another group. America should be everybody coming together, helping one another, but right now what we see is an emphasis on the civil rights of white people. Now, why I say that is this, is because of the fact that history has shown us what occurred on March 13th in 2020, when Breonna Taylor was reckless in endangerment of human life, and it absolutely was murder, and her civil rights were 100% violated. The family was paid out for the recklessness of the Louisville Police Department. See, what happened to Breonna Taylor was a travesty, and the sad part is that it only happened based on bad information that the police department had, and also sloppiness on the police department to not thoroughly do the investigation the way they were supposed to do the investigation before they approved the no-knock warrant to go to a house that wasn't even occupied by the person they were looking for. And so what we have to understand is when we look at this case and the fact that the Trump administration and his Department of Justice is recommending one day for a police department that literally dropped the ball every step along the way, a police officer that shot recklessly, and what we're trying to say is that, or what they're trying to say is that the death of Breonna Taylor, nobody needs to be held accountable. And what I'm trying to tell y'all is that the Louisville Police Department caused the death of Breonna Taylor, not her boyfriend. And the police sloppy investigation work caused the death of Breonna Taylor. But nobody's going to get justice in this system or from this case. Truth Nation, again, never, ever, ever will there ever be justice that can truly be served to Breonna Taylor because you can't bring her back. But the fact that they were getting a smidge of accountability meant a lot to her family. The fact that somebody was being held responsible for how reckless the behavior of the police were that day is something that Breonna Taylor's mother and her family felt some comfort in. Again, it ain't going to bring their daughter back. It's not going to bring them happiness, but it just gives them a sense of feeling complete and whole. That's what this was about. This was about her having to read the notes of the stories, hear all the stuff, and see that the police went to the wrong house. See that the boyfriend was just doing what any American would do when somebody come on your house trying to bust down your door with a no-knock warrant. You don't know that it's police. They did not identify themselves. Initially, I heard that report. And he shot to try to protect his household, and they literally lit the house up, killing Breonna Taylor, and you even had an officer going to a side window shooting inside of a window that they could not see who they was shooting at. They did not care who they was going to shoot. And at the end of the day, the risk that they put Breonna Taylor and her boyfriend at was found to be liable to some extent because the family was paid out $12 million. And so for me, I don't buy the excuse that the administration or the justification they gave for only a one-day sentence. And the justification, Truth Nation, was that the officer that shot recklessly inside Breonna Taylor's apartment isn't a risk to society. And I like to say I would beg to differ. 833-212-1017. That is the Truth Talking text line. And I'm just talking about the tragic story of Breonna Taylor and the fact that one of the police officers, not the one who had the fatal shot because he was found that he wasn't responsible, but the Biden administration found that one of the officers was reckless in their behavior and violated the civil rights of Breonna Taylor. And now the Trump administration's Department of Justice has come in, is only recommending one day for that officer to serve. 833-212-1017. Again, that is the Truth Talk and text line. And Al, you are on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. You have comments on Breonna Taylor?
Yes, Kyle. My question to you is, I don't know if I might have this wrong. I don't know if it's Exodus 21:24. I think it's I-4-9, 2-4-2. I never understand why people never ask for that. Because, see, if you don't ask what's in your heart, they're going to keep pushing the needle. And if we're talking about one law, one rule, one standard for everybody, they should ask for that. Because what you do to me, I should have a right to do to you. Because when you're ready to take somebody out of here, they don't ask. So start asking what's in your heart. I-4-9, 2-4-2. They don't have no problem doing it to you. So ask them, should I have a right to do it to you?
You know,
because if I got to take a loss, because if I got to come.
I think about Tyree Nichols down in Tennessee and how, you can keep him back up. Tyree Nichols down in Tennessee, where he was killed by a group of black police officers. And so when we say eye for eye, I don't think it's a race thing. I think it's a culture thing that you see inside the police department across this country.
Yes, but it still, but it still should be I-4-9, 2-4-2. If I got to come to a casket with maggots and bugs, their family should have it too. And maybe this stuff will stop because everybody's afraid of death. And nobody wants to be maggot food. And if everybody can ask what's in that Bible, y'all can ask for that too.
Okay. Oh, I hear you, Al. I hear you. I disagree. I'm not for an eye for an eye because I don't believe that's the way to go about it. I don't think violence needs to be matched with violence because all that does is continue to take somebody's life, which as a believer in Christ, I don't believe that that's something that we have any right to do. That's why I don't believe in the death penalty. But 833-212-1017, we're having a conversation talking about Breonna Taylor and how one of the officers that shot at Breonna Taylor was found to be reckless in his shooting and endangering Breonna Taylor which caused for her civil rights to be violated. The Biden administration found that he was guilty of that. And now that the Biden administration is no longer in it, it's the Trump administration that is taking over. Guess what? The Trump administration is saying he should only serve 24 hours in jail. That shows you what he believes Black lives mean. 24 hours in jail. 833-212-1017. What I do want to know from you is this, Truth Nation, is do you think or do you believe that this is enough time? Do you think 24 hours is okay? Do you believe that Breonna Taylor's family already got enough? They got $12 million. They don't need this. Do you believe they already got enough? 833-212-1017. Should the officer who shot into Breonna Taylor's room recklessly, did not know what he was shooting at, should Brett Hankison, should he have to serve more than 1 day in jail for violating her civil rights? 833-212-1017. I'll take your calls. I'll take your texts. I'll read your message on YouTube, 1017 The Truth on YouTube. You can watch and stream us live. But on the other side, I'll share why I feel like this, again, is an injustice not to Breonna Taylor, but to all Black Americans. This is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace right here on 1017 The Truth.
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Join the Brewers as they celebrate 25 seasons of American Family Field at the game against the Marlins on Friday, July 25th. Be here for the return of Brewers legends like Ryan Braun and Prince Fielder as they'll battle former Brewers in a post-game home run derby. Plus, take advantage of special anniversary promotions like discounted draft beers and brats and 25% off at the Brewers team store. All activities featuring alumni will be free for fans in attendance. Get your seats at brewers.com.
This summer, make 3rd Street Market Hall your one-stop, must-stop destination to eat, drink, and play. 3rd Street Market Hall has over 15 locally owned food vendors, a self-serve beer wall featuring 30 Wisconsin breweries, over 50 HD TVs, and happy hour specials all week. The perfect place to work remotely or catch a game between meetings or over lunch, 3rd Street Market Hall is your home away from home or office. Visit 3rdstreetmarkethall.com for menus, events, and more information.
This is your Versity Blood Center of Wisconsin Community Impact Moment on 1017 The Truth.
I want you to really stress the importance of having an ethnically diverse blood supply. But I guess, what do you say to people that, for whatever reason, are apprehensive about giving blood?
It's not by accident that we are building this fixed donation site right in the heart of this Halyard Park, Harambe neighborhood. And to your point, our Black and brown donors probably represents the smallest demographic in our donor base. That's attributed to multiple reasons. For those of us that understand the history, there is a lot of underlying mistrust of the healthcare system. And quite frankly, there's already challenges with how busy people are, how accessible they are to even know where to go to donate blood. And let's face it, a lot of folks are scared of needles, right? But when they get through all of that, the importance, I think, is a heavier burden on our Black and brown communities, because there are a lot of different blood diseases that require what I'll call more of a match in blood that only comes from people of similar ethnicities. Something that's specific to our Black donors and patients is something that I think your listeners are very familiar with: sickle cell disease. The only therapy that get them through their day-to-day life is blood transfusions. And it's not just what I'll call average or normal blood type or blood transfusion. It's actually a specific blood with a specific type called RO blood. And this RO blood typically only comes from people of African descent and Hispanic descent. And so that's why it's so important that our donor base is diverse, so that it helps our ethnically diverse patient population.
To make an impact by donating blood in your community, visit versity.org today.
This Associated Bank Sports Update on 1017 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Brandon Snide. The Milwaukee Brewers secured their 10th win in a row, including 6 straight over the Dodgers out there in LA. This one by a final score of 6-4.
And a liner into center for a base hit. Haas is in. Churio chugging around third. He's going to score.
The Brewers will continue their West Coast road trip, beginning a 3-game series in Seattle. First pitch is set for 8:40. And over to the NBA, where 12-time All-Star Chris Paul has agreed to a deal with the LA Clippers. This one for a 1-year, $3.6 million deal. And lastly, we'll head over to golf, where Scottie Scheffler has won the 153rd Open Championship held at Royal Portrush. This victory marks his second major win of 2025. The sports update brought to you by Associated Bank, proudly supporting your hometown teams. Member FDIC.
It is Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
Patio during Kids Day. Yes, before first pitch, head to the clock tower entrance outside American Family Field and let the fun begin. From free face painting and temporary tattoos to photo ops, yard games, and free giveaways, and live music from local DJs is a perfect pre-game stop for families. Come early and have fun and make it a day to remember, all thanks to American Family Insurance. So again, make game day a dream day for the whole family at Parking Lot Patio during Kids Day. Again, come early, have fun, and make it a day to remember, all thanks to American Family Insurance. If you are looking for a new agent when it comes to, or looking to get home insurance, looking to get car insurance, you can do it with AmFam by simply going to amfam.com. That is amfam.com. This is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. I'm your host of Truth to Power, Kyle Wallace, and I'm coming to you live from the American Family Insurance Studio at V House, Vincent High School here in the city of Milwaukee. We're having a conversation talking about the sad, tragic story of Breonna Taylor. Breonna Taylor was murdered by Louisville police officers back on March 13th, 2020. And there's not much justice the family can get, but the Biden Department of Justice was able to find that one of the officers, Officer Hankinson, was found guilty of violating her civil rights. And unfortunately, the Biden administration was not able to give the sentence, or recommendation of the sentence, I should say. And the new Justice Department said that Officer Hankinson should only serve 1 day in jail for violating her civil rights. 833-212-1017. I'm getting your reaction to that. Ms. Sandra, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Thank you so much for waiting. What are your thoughts here on Breonna Taylor?
Okay, Breonna Taylor. Yes, from what I read about what I heard on the news about Breonna's case, they said that the guy the cops were looking for, they had him already in jail. So in the beginning, the whole thing was botched up anyways.
It was very botched
and
up.
So,
no knock warrant as well, so which is a big problem. It's
yeah.
going to fight to end that.
And then you look at the fact, of January 6th. He pardoned all those people. See, what I know it is just as obvious as it wants to be. He's going after black people, no matter which way. Hook, crook, still kill, and that's the killing part of it. He's setting up, like I said, he's setting up the thing in Cop City, over there in Atlanta, over there. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't be surprised if all this stuff come up here, because they're militarizing the police. I mean, they're police now and they know how to shoot, but how military they're going to be? Well, they're militarizing them, and so this is coming up. And I always say it is not just Trump. It's his whole posse, Project 2025. We have to look at the whole, thing of it.
Yeah. No, Ms. Sandra, I think you're right. It's very unfortunate. And one thing that I feel like when we talk about these stories, a lot of us don't understand or feel the pain. Like, we just say words, right? Like, a lot of times people hear stories, they read stories, they hear it on the news, but it really doesn't register, right? And unfortunately, we're a being that has to feel sometimes to fully have that empathy for others. And in this case of Breonna Taylor, I just want people to understand that Breonna Taylor was in bed sleep. Think if you at home, just imagine, Truth Nation, you are at your home sleeping minding your own business, getting ready for the next work day. And then all of a sudden, if somebody come knocking at your door, wow. Think about what just happened to the Minnesota lawmakers that had somebody come to their door and shot and killed them. America is dangerous. And so, yes, I understand the police had to return fire because of the fact that the gentleman shot back, her boyfriend shot at them because he didn't know who it was at the door. He thought somebody was breaking in the house. But when all the information comes out and shows, as Miss Sandra talked about and I discussed earlier, there were so many steps that were botched leading up to this. And to simply tell the family, it is what it is, that's not right. It's not right at all. And so my whole problem is after all these facts came out, nobody is being held accountable for it. And when you had a little inkling of accountability potentially coming, this administration told you, nope, not getting that. 833-212-1017. Andy in Milwaukee on the award-winning 1017. Militarization of the country is what you're talking about?
Yes, I co-sign everything that Sandra said. And Sandra, I lost your number. We made a community brainstorming meetings. Yes, absolutely. There's a cop city in every state. I think ours is in Janesville, and they're expanding. And so these things like what happened, that he's got his civil rights. He hates black people. His father was at a Klan rally. Let's talk about Trump. His father was at a Klan rally. He evicted blacks. Yes. He evicted blacks, that were at his properties. He hates people of color, period. And so he's going to, you're going to see more examples where black people are gunned down and there's no accountability and no punishment. Heck, he might give those officers a pardon, and if they're, I think
these officers were not charged. The only one that was found to be guilty of anything was Officer Brett Hankinson, who was found guilty of violating the civil rights of Breonna Taylor. But the other officers were found to be scotch-free. They had nothing. They weren't found to be liable for the death of Breonna Taylor. So thank you so much for chiming in and sharing that with me, Andy. Now, before we go to break, I do want to share this, Truth Nation, is that I think this is wrong, and I think this is a lack of accountability. And when I think about accountability, and I think about, in this case with Breonna Taylor, and again, it's a travesty. It's a tragedy. It's something bad that happened. But somebody has to be held accountable. And I think about that word accountability, and I think about the other side of the paradigm, where we have a teenage boy here in Milwaukee who accidentally shot a 12-year-old child and killed a 12-year-old child, and he has to face more accountability for his actions and his mistakes as a child than what the officers in the Breonna Taylor case have to face. That's sad. Mistakes happen. I understand that. But also we have to understand that when you make mistakes in life, there are consequences. There are consequences for that. And unfortunately, we are living in a time where some people believe that even if you are an officer, you don't have to face those same consequences. You are held to a higher standard. You are held to a higher standard. And I repeat, again, I love the police because that's first person I'm calling. But I also believe when you take that oath of office, you have a higher standard that you have to abide by. 833-212-1017. Charles in Milwaukee, you're on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Yeah, first of all, I just want to say, you're doing a great job at your show. Y'all talk about important issues, and I appreciate that.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you.
Yeah, the first thing I want to say is this is an ongoing problem with law enforcement in America, and it's been going like this for at least 100 years. And the good thing is that the Biden administration did find somebody at fault. That opens the door for them to have some kind of civil lawsuit. But other than that, when the police shoot somebody, there typically is not going to be some kind of accountability. And as people of color, we have societal, generational trauma of knowing that this is the way it is. There's no shortage of examples of people that have been murdered by a police officer, and that police officer might be on their block again. They're going to have to see him again. And here in Milwaukee, Joseph Mensa, he just retired. He just stepped away from law, but he was able to be involved in the in the death of multiple individuals, and there was never going to be
individuals,
there's never going to be repercussions of that. And those types of feelings, whether it's, young people being killed by the police, whether it's civil rights leaders being assassinated, that kind of trauma is what causes young black men to feel like, why should I even try? Why am I going out of my way? Anything can happen to me. Something bad can happen. So at least let me do something to deserve these negative outcomes that are more than likely going to happen to me anyway.
Charles, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for chiming in and sharing your perspective. I think you made a lot of great, valid points. 833-212-1017. Again, this is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. And we're coming to you live from the UW-Madison Volleyball camp at Vincent High School. Again, I'm ecstatic to be able to be here today, to be able to share this space with a lot of these young, aspiring volleyball players to get a chance to be part of this free camp. But again, 833-212-1017. On the other side, when we come back, we'll wrap up this conversation talking about Breonna Taylor and how the tragedy will come to an end and the family will not get justice, and unfortunately they will not get peace. This is Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace. I'll finish up on the other side.
You are listening to Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app. Catch Truth to Power every weekday from noon to 1 p.m.
Milwaukee, it's time to turn the TV off and turn your speakers up so you can hear what the future leaders of the world have to say. Truth Nation, I'm proud to present the 8 Block, powered by City on the Hill and 1017 The Truth, hosted by me, your boy, Ben Jammin. Every other Saturday at 9 a.m., 8 Milwaukee teams will share stories and laughs that will speak truth to what matters most in their lives.
I'm here to discover different levels about myself.
I'm really here to get my name out there and have a different perspective on life.
So tap in every other Saturday at 9 a.m. Truth Nation, welcome to the 8 Block.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Strong moms build strong families. Outreach is Healthy Starts, Healthy Hearts empowers parents with tools for healthy pregnancies, heart smart habits, and thriving kids. Join us on Thursday, July 31st from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. to learn about prenatal care, well child visits, and more. The event is free at our Capitol Drive location and open to all families. Call 414-727-6320 to register today. That's 414-727-6320. Outreach. Healthcare with Heart.
Are you or anyone you know looking for a new job opportunity? Attend the City of Milwaukee Job Fair on Thursday, July 24th from noon to 3 p.m. at 2 locations. Visit us at Sherman Park in the Mary Ryan Boys and Girls Club Baseball Diamond, located at 3000 North Sherman Boulevard, and at the Washington Park Band Shell, located at 4599 West Lloyd Street. Vendors from multiple employment sectors will be present to meet with you and share opportunities for hiring, training, upskilling, and more. We will also feature a live DJ, food and refreshments while supplies last, and the chance to make your next career move. Your success matters, and we are here for it. Brought to you by council members DeAndre Jackson and Russell Stamper II. Sponsored by City of Milwaukee, Milwaukee Common Council, City of Milwaukee Department of Administration, Office of Community Wellness and Safety, Northcott Neighborhood House, Fathers Making Progress, Northwest Side Community Development Corporation, State of Wisconsin DWD, Ross Innovative Employment Solutions, Goodwill Industries of Southeast Wisconsin, UMOS, DCMKE, 30th Street Corridor, Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Milwaukee, Milwaukee County Parks, Greater Milwaukee Urban League, Maximus, and Amplifier.
You are listening to Truth to Power on 1017 The Truth app, and streaming live on 1017 The Truth on YouTube.
One, two, three, ho!
One call, that's all, with Gruber Law Office. If you or a loved one is ever injured in an accident, you already know who to call. It is Gruber Law Offices. I'm telling y'all this right now. Don't fool around and dealing and going back and forth with the insurance companies. If somebody gets out the car and says, I'll take care of this, don't worry, I'll pay. No, you don't do none of that. You say, don't talk to me. I'm going to call Gruber Law Office. That's all you got to do. Make one call, that's all, and Gruber will take care of the rest. And always remember, when you make one call, that's all, you pay not a single penny. You not pay a single cent until they win your case. So, Truth Nation, get with the winning law firm today by calling Gruber Law Offices at 414-276-6666. That's 414-276-6666. Or visit them at gruber-law.com. It is one call, that's all, with Gruber Law Office. This is Truth to Power here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, and I want to say thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for joining us here today. And I want y'all to understand, the next time anyone tells you what this administration has done for black folks, when they tell you, oh, look what they did for black folks, look at the pardons that they gave to rapper NBA Youngboy, or look at the pardons that they gave to Larry Hoover. He a real G, even though he killed many, many people and separated many black families and caused devastation to many black families. But look what he did for Larry Hoover, who still got to spend the rest of his life behind bars. You ask him, what did this administration do for Breonna Taylor's family? You asked them, why did this administration make Breonna Taylor's family have to suffer again? Why did her life and her family's peace of mind not matter to this administration? That's what you asked them. That's what you say. You say, why did her civil rights not matter? Because what we have to understand, again, with this story of Breonna Taylor, this is just only the tip of the iceberg of what we're going to see. This is only the first thing where you get to see that so many lives that look like mine and look like yours and look like a woman does not matter. It does not matter. We're living in different times and we have to prepare ourselves for that. So my hope is this. My hope is that Attorney Benjamin Crump, with the influence and the power that he has, that Benjamin Crump galvanizes his people, gets the community to stand up, gets them to march, gets them to push back, gets them to fight, and gets them to speak up and out about what this is. And maybe, just maybe, something positive can come from this, and we will see this officer, Brett Hankerson, from the Louisville Police Department, who is a rogue or reckless police officer who should not be an officer for what he did. Make sure him and other people are not on the streets trying to patrol, and make sure that the good cops don't have to deal with the bad ones. Make sure the good cops get to have a peace of mind, understanding that the rogue bad ones aren't going to tarnish their great records, their great career, and their great profession. That's what I hope comes from this. But again, this has been Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace right here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. And again, I want to say thank you so much to UW-Madison. Thank you so much to MPS. Thank you so much to Vincent for hosting this camp here today for the young students here in the city of Milwaukee. And thank you so much to you, Truth Nation. But peace out. I will see y'all tomorrow. The Tori Lowe Show is up next with Telly Hughes and Dame LZ. But I will be back tomorrow. I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Hello, my name is Cindy, and I'm a rising sophomore and a proud Tiger at Riverside University.